You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up tonight, Grand Bahama Power Company outlined the reasons for the power outages and plans moving forward. Plus, a fire in 8 Mile Rock taking a family home. And a local NGO speaking out against violence. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Azra Quant. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping the news this evening, lights out for many Grand Bahama Power consumers on the island as a generation shortfall at the power plant, impacting scores of residents on Thursday night. This latest in a series of power outages resulting in a statement from GBPC outlining the reasons for the power outages and plans moving forward. Shashina Roll-Farquharson has tonight's top story.
Frustrated customers left in the dark on Thursday, many taking to the Grand Bahama Power Company's social media page, and for one user she posted, "This is beyond ridiculous now." Another said, "But yet there is a pending increase," while one person said, "This is deplorable. At an hour when people are trying to rest, the power goes out." And for one mother, she notes, "My son is on a $2,500 medication and it has to stay cold. And once it gets warm, he cannot take it anymore, but the power has been turning off all day." In the month of June and July, the island of Grand Bahama experienced a heightened number of power outages due to what the company revealed as a generation shortfall at the plant. Late Friday, the GBPC issuing a statement apologizing for the recent power outages affecting some customers. The statement reads, "We understand that these interruptions cause a significant inconvenience to you, your families, and your businesses. The reliability of our service is a top priority for the GBPC team, and we deeply regret that we have fallen short of your expectations." The statement also notes that the recent disruptions were due to an equipment failure at the Peel Street plant, adding that this unexpected issue led to a shortfall in the power generation capacity, resulting in the need to temporarily interrupt services to some customers to maintain the stability of the entire grid and prevent an island-wide power outage. The statement also listing a number of plans moving forward. This includes making immediate repairs and restoration. The statement says that the technical teams have been working around the clock to repair the damaged equipment and to restore total operation capacity as quickly as possible, which should be completed by today. Other plans include adding temporary generation, enhanced maintenance and monitoring, and strengthening communications. The statement concludes that GBPC is committed to delivering timely, transparent communications on matters that impact you, adding that they will provide consumers with prompt and clear updates in the event of unforeseen service impacts and advance notice of plant maintenance or potential disruptions via its social media pages so consumers can make necessary arrangements. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shashina Roll-Farquharson.
Well, a family is claiming that the recent power outage has left them homeless. After an early morning fire in the 8 Mile Rock area, Shalia Roll has the details in this report.
All that's left is debris and the memories that Velma McIntosh and her family created in their home. This is a result of a house fire that started early yesterday morning, and they believe the cause of this fire was due to the frequent power outages on the island.
I have raised so many kids in this house.
At around 6 a.m., McIntosh says that she left for work with her children and grandchildren sleeping peacefully, although the power was off. Hours later, her son paid her a visit to work, telling her that her house was engulfed in flames. The victim to this house fire says that her daughter woke up to the pungent odor of smoke and got out of bed to investigate. By the time that her daughter was able to locate the odor, it was already too late.
Outside, she saw the smoke coming from the other side of the house. By the time she could run from that side of the house back inside to grab the children,
this side of the house was already covered with smoke.
McIntosh says that her family was unable to retrieve important documents and many other items, but she's happy that her family made it out alive, and she's left rummaging through the debris, but she says that the memories she created in this house will last forever.
This house holds a lot of memories. I grew up in this house. We have helped many people in this house. We have raised many children in this house besides my kids. My kids raised here. My grandchildren live here. This is the original home of my mother and 8 children.
Over the past few months, the Grand Bahama Power Company has been experiencing a generation shortfall at their main plant, which resulted in frequent power outages. McIntosh believes that this house fire is a result of the problems that the power company is facing.
Situation with the lights going off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on. I'm not the only person who has complaints. Okay? Everybody is complaining. My fridge got messed up. My air conditioner got messed up. And nobody is being accountable or being held accountable for these things.
McIntosh says that she's hoping to meet with Grand Bahama Power Company officials to get clarification surrounding her unfortunate situation. Meantime, she is appealing to the public for assistance to repurchase her children's back-to-school supplies. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
Now, our ZNS News team reached out to the Grand Bahama Power Company, who declined to give a comment on this matter at this time. Meanwhile, the recent announcement made by the Grand Bahama Power Company on its submission of a rate plan proposal to the Grand Bahama Port Authority is sparking widespread concern and raising many questions. Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, weighing in, expressing uncertainty about the justification for the rate change in light of global inflation. He raises concerns about potential conflicts of interest between GBPC and GBPA, suggesting that the ties could influence the decision-making process.
This is a case of CESA appealing to CESA because the question is whether or not the Grand Bahama Port Authority can be the proper adjudicator of or arbitrator of any application which is made to it about whether or not prices on electricity ought to go up. And clearly the answer is no, it's improper. There's a conflict of interest on the face of it. Plus, the law is clear that they do not have the jurisdiction to do so. That's the way it seems to us. The law was just passed in Parliament. It restated the pre-existing law. There is a case before the courts. I understand that the judge, we're awaiting rulings on some procedural points, and then there has to be a trial, which will, of course, ultimately settle the matter. But the government's position is that the authority for this lies with IRCA, not with the Grand Bahama Port Authority.
This comes amid a long-standing legal dispute involving the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Grand Bahama Power Company, and the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority, IRCA, which remains unresolved in the courts. Mitchell emphasizes that IRCA is responsible for setting rates for utility companies nationwide to ensure fairness and transparency.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority says that under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, they alone have the responsibility for setting rates for utility companies. We disagree because the government of the Bahamas has the responsibility for the entire country, and IRCA's legislation governs utilities. The question is whether or not we are right or whether the Grand Bahama Port Authority is right in this matter, and that's before the courts, and we're awaiting a decision on that matter.
Meantime, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, also releasing a press statement yesterday, making it clear that she does not support a base rate increase to electricity. Well, switching gears now, in the wake of the island's recent double shooting that left 1 dead and 1 critical, a local NGO is speaking out against the violence. Families of all murder victims is calling for men all around the country to stop the violence and find better ways of resolving their conflicts. Shane Stubbs has more in this report.
Let's try resolve stuff in a better avenue than just resorting to violence.
That's Wendy Fox, head of Families of All Murder Victims Freeport, who was speaking out against the recent double shooting that transpired at a club on East Sunrise Highway early Wednesday morning. As one life was lost, Fox was especially disappointed now that a family has lost a loved one. For her, it's especially saddening to see young people at the forefront of the violence.
Put down these guns, man. You know, we have too much innocent kids, and then we have to see firsthand of this. We have too much innocent kids. Everybody, where's their daddy? Where's their mother? They dead. I mean, come on, man. It's a better way we could deal with stuff. We getting older, we ain't getting younger, and the majority of murders today are younger, like younger youths.
According to police received reports around 1 a.m. outside a nightclub on East Sunrise Highway. Upon arrival at the location, responding officers discovered 2 men suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to their bodies. Fox says this is indeed a sad situation.
It have to be a way out. It have to be. Because right now, the person is dead. We have to do something. Something have to change.
The former organization was founded in New Providence 13 years ago to assist the families of murdered victims.
If they have kids, then that's where FOAM deal with their kids. We take care of the kids until they turn 18, meaning schools to help them with school supplies, groceries every month, Christmas gifts, birthday gifts.
Founded on the premise of being their brother or sister's keeper, Fox says in today's climate, organizations like this one are needed now more than ever.
We see the need for it because you can't depend on the government for everything. You understand? So our NGOs, which is FOAM, and others, people, we step to the plate and, you know, we lend a helping hand. It goes a long way.
Now, according to police officials, 1 man is in custody, assisting with Grand Bahama's latest murder. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
In news from police on Grand Bahama are investigating a robbery in the South Bahama area around 9:30 p.m. on Thursday, August 8, 2024. Initial reports revealed that 2 unknown males approached and physically assaulted a female victim at her residence on Yorkshire Drive. She was robbed of her white 2015 Kia Soul, which also contained her female Pomeranian dog, her handbag containing cash. Members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force are appealing to members of the public to be on the lookout for this stolen vehicle and to come forward with any information related to this matter. Please call 911, 919, the Criminal Investigation Department, Grand Bahama Crime Stoppers at 328-8477. Now, since the release of this report, sources tell our newsroom that the dog, 13-year-old Alpha, has since been found. Now on to the health beat. The Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, announced a promising development for healthcare services in Abaco. Speaking on the status of the Marsh Harbor Clinic, Dr. Darville revealed that health officials are now set to perform essential cataract surgeries at the facility.
For the first time since the construction of that facility, we're using the theater, like what you're seeing now, to perform essential cataract surgeries. We believe we would do somewhere between 100 and 150. I need to quantify that. But we're so excited that the clinic in Abaco now is reaching its true potential, which is not only primary healthcare services, but to do secondary and some tertiary services. And the operating theater is actively involved.
Dr. Darville highlighted that when the current administration took office, they faced the daunting task of addressing the significant infrastructure damage left in the wake of Hurricane Dorian. Despite these challenges, Dr. Darville expresses his satisfaction with the progress made.
I'm pleased to report that the clinics in Abaco are about 95 to 100% repaired. We just spent a large sum of money at the Marsh Harbor Clinic in order to ensure that the surgical initiative with cataracts were completed. We have a team with us now who are measuring the floor, the surgical floor, in the event to replace it because it was severely impacted as a result of Hurricane Dorian. Abaco needs essential healthcare services.
The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns after this break.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, Built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Gumbayland features AVS catering, attention clubs, sports group, and birthday party planners. Come and celebrate with us. Our group rates are as low as $70 per child, including skates and food.
This year, 11 schools go head-to-head in the Battle of the Brains 2024. Witness the excitement as young minds compete in math, physics, chemistry, and biology. Watch this new episode of Battle of the Brains, powered by GB Power. Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Could it be the formation of the new West Grand Bahama Youth Band? Sergeant Rovan Carey certainly hopes so. He recently spearheaded Urban Renewal's band camp down in 8 Mile Rock, which blossomed into 30-plus campers, completing the 2-week course. And they are now on track to be the newest West's band. Shane Stubbs has that report.
West Grand Bahama, you have your band that is formed out of the summer camp.
After navigating theoretical and practical exercises, the West Grand Bahama Youth Band is taking form. Led by Sergeant Rovan Carey, the eager campers passed the course with flying colors and are ready to take the island by storm.
We're not misplacing the central band, but we're going to collectively, and anytime we represent the Grand Bahama District, we're going to collectively come together and make one formation of the band. But definitely for the 8 Mile Rock, the West Grand Bahama, you have your band that is formed out of the summer camp.
Day by day, the camp grew in numbers, and Carey was mostly impressed with their ability to grasp musical concepts at a fast rate. That has left the door open for continuation of enrollment.
We definitely looking at starting again in September, full stream ahead, and we're going to be out there making it a difference with inside the West community.
Expressing his pride as an 8 Mile Rock native was Officer in Charge of Urban Renewal, ASP Cordell Capron.
I am honored and I'm privileged for it to begin in the West. You know, I'm a resident of 8 Mile Rock, and this is home. So that effort to make sure that this succeeded was a bit heightened for us.
So that hard work will not go in vain. Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Senator the Honorable Kirkland Russell, is calling on the donation of instruments.
Trumpet, a clarinet, a trombone, a saxophone. I know that the sousaphone are expensive, but maybe you could get together in groups and see if you could even sponsor these kids a sousaphone. As a government, we will do our best to facilitate, but of course we need some additional help.
And the top 3 award recipients, Victoria Mott, Eli Outen, and Greg Garvey, say they are excited about what's to come.
Most of all, the camp was fun, thanks to Miss Monroe and Sergeant Carey and Director Starr. I look forward to playing the trumpet and traveling.
It was pretty good. Had a lot of fun. It feels good to win one for once.
I look forward to socialize and create a bond with my fellow friends and stuff.
Now that the message is clear through their exam success, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles has laid down this charge.
I just want to say that you are all winners, and I am going to give it my very best to ensure that instruments are placed in your hands.
Now ACP Knowles has already put in her request for the City of Freeport and the West Grand Bahama Marching Bands to come together later on this year to perform one of her favorite songs at the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. So, no pressure. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shane Stubbs.
Great initiative. Thank you, Shane. Well, a nonprofit organization created by young people on Grand Bahama called BJC Passing Score is expanding with its BJC Reconnect Adult program. BJC Passing Score was founded by Jaden Newbold, who says the goal was to help fellow high school students get ready for the national examinations. The purpose for the expansions come from adults frequently asking about adult classes, and he and the team are excited about the new venture.
We have decided to expand it to adults, reason being, because a lot of adults were asking us, do you guys offer BJC classes for adults? And we said, no, we don't. We only cater to students at this time. So with the frequently asked question being similar, when we looked at, there were not really much adult classes that can cater to certain adults. You know, you have some adults who work 9 to 5, who may not get home on time, or who may have children. So we decided that we would use our same teaching strategy, which is students helping students, to now students teaching adults, to help cater adults and bring a modern day feel.
With a passion for helping the next generation and elevating the national average, President Naylon Bartlett, Vice President Roshan Major, and Brand Ambassador Kendrick Williams look forward to the continued success of students locally and nationally.
As a former student of BJC passing score, I sat 9 BJCs in 1 year, and BJC passing score helped me to pass all 5 of those with a C or higher. And becoming president and being able to see students from all the islands that may not have the correct resources to help them succeed in their BJC examinations, it's a great help to see that we are taking that initiative.
I think there needs to be a call of action, because concerning our peers, they're the future generation, the future leaders. They are our country.
It's wonderful, actually. You got to help those who really needed the help and who really wanted the help. We have a 92% success rate on the BJC from those who came from our program.
Now those interested can sign up via the BJC Reconnect Adult Program's Facebook page. The launch is set for September 9th through November 14th, 2024. And that's a look at news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
Well, Aja, coming up in sports, the Goodwill Swim Championships is set for next week, Friday, in St. Lucia. Hear from some of the swimmers preparing for that competition.
The Grand Bahama Port Authority advises of road resurfacing on East Sunrise Highway westbound lanes opposite Lukai Medical from August 6th through the 9th. The Lukai roundabout will be closed with traffic diverted to Ferry Horse Lane. The Grand Bahama Port Authority apologizes for any inconvenience caused.
It's back to school with Bellevue Gifts and Supplies. Shop now and get huge savings on composition books, 15% off textbooks, workbooks, school supplies, and all teachers' aids. Bellevue Gifts and Supplies, Queens Highway, making going back to school more affordable.
Here are some tips for having your home ready for a hurricane. Keep all trees and shrubs trimmed. Bring in all outdoor furniture, plants, or any other items that may become airborne due to high winds. Cover windows and doors with hurricane shutters or pre-cut plywood. Clear drains and gutters. And remember to secure important documentation in case you have to evacuate. Don't be caught off guard this hurricane season. Be prepared.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to yet another exciting edition of sports right here in the North. Well, softball action continues this weekend. The Keys Bahamas ladies softball team preparing for that game.
The team has been communicating effectively, but we just need more practice, moving forward. I think if we would, take our time and try to get the basic hits and try to get base hits, I think we'll be okay. The expectation of the team is to try to get the W. This team has been a growing team, so the talks out that they're doing pretty good. They're seeing some improvements, so it really is to get the W.
Next in sports, Logan Camacho, Samaya Roll, and Keimani Cooper will all be representing the Bahamas at the upcoming Goodwill Swimming Championship scheduled for August 16th through the 18th at the Rodney Heights Aquatic Center in St. Lucia.
Some of the things we are working on the most are our off-the-walls dives and underwater kicks, because those can really improve a race. And my expectations, I've seen most of the times everybody in our age group is pretty fast, but the Bahamas looks pretty well, and we're in first in a lot of our races, so I think we're going to do very well.
We've been working on dives, starts, finishes, most of the time, like such as I think I can at least 3 gold medals. That's my expectation. And I'm striving to get high point trophy.
We've been working on our starts, turns, and our technique, and we feel like we are going to do great at Goodwill, so we could come first in everything. I working on my backstroke for one of my weak areas, and my fly because it's not that strong, and I feel like I'm gonna do good at it.
And last in sports, course in the Grand Bahama Basketball Association Corporate League, the Policing Forces was victorious against the Grand Bahama Port Authority 40-36. Jamal Walker had 18 points in the win. Now in Game 2, Team ZNS got the W against Freeport Harbor 26-20, led by Jacoby Thomas, Philip Marsh, Matthew Mattenborough, and Xavier Wilchcombe. And the final game of the night saw the Container Port Stackers getting the W against Buckeye Oilers 34-18. Angelo Knowles was the top scorer with 11 points in the victory. Ladies and gents, that is your quick check on sports. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Now here's a check on your local weather forecast, sponsored by Royal Star Assurance.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Don't go anywhere. Facebook Friend of the Day is up right after this.
We all need to save. Save time, gas, and money. Shopping at Save More can help you do just that. Make us your first stop for all your prescription needs and medical supplies. Get all your health and beauty items at the same time. And don't miss our huge choice of snacks to satisfy your cravings. And the largest vitamin selection and over-the-counter relief products. Need diapers and other baby care items? First stop. The new section for makeovers, cosmetics, and beautiful jewelry will make you sparkle for that next special event. Save More Drugs, your more store.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, Freeport Grand Bahama. We're praying for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we're telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was scared, coming and crying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the eye of the newsroom.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Gabriella Julian, you are our Facebook friend of the evening. We hope we made your dreams come true. Continue aspiring to celebrate the connections that make life meaningful. And that's going to do it tonight for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Major Quant, but stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, on the face of it, unreasonable. The Prime Minister weighs in on the Grand Bahama Power Company's proposed rate hike. millions of tourists, but are taxi drivers reaping the rewards? Hear what the taxi union head has to say on that and other lingering issues. Plus, a bittersweet moment for Sandals Emerald Bay as the property hosts a job fair ahead of its rebranding. And in sports, Devon advances to finals of 100 hurdles at the Olympics. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akusha Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The backlash to Grand Bahama Power Company's proposed rate increase grows, with the Prime Minister now adding his voice. Speaking with reporters on the sidelines of the last evening's Caribbean Ministerial United Nations Convention to combat desertification, Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis blasted the request as unreasonable on the face of it. As reported, the GBPC recently submitted a proposal to the Grand Bahama Port Authority for a 6.3% increase to take effect January 2025. And this right on the heels of a rate adjustment April 2022.
But from what I can see, there's no basis for any further increases in electricity. In fact, if anyone knows what's happening in New Providence, electricity is going down. Consumption is up, but rates are down.
Now, GBPC officials reason that since its last increase, the company suffered several blows, including the loss of its largest customer, coupled with significant inflationary pressures. Still, the general consensus from Grand Bahama residents and government officials is that the time just isn't right. In a statement, Minister of Grand Bahama, the Honourable Ginger Moxie, condemned the GBPC's proposed increase as unacceptable, wholly ill-conceived, badly timed, and one that appeared to prioritize profit over the well-being of the community. The release further stressed that the proposed increase would only impose additional strain on Grand Bahama residents and businesses. Meantime, the Grand Bahama Port Authority vehemently denying any approval for the Grand Bahama Power Company's proposed basic rate increase. According to a release, the request is under a comprehensive review, and officials will be engaging key stakeholders during a 45-day consultation period to thoroughly understand the proposed impact before a final decision is made on December 1st. The Port Authority adding that the application's detail will be made public on or before September 15th. While acknowledging the GBPC's recent challenges and the high cost of energy to residents and businesses, the Port Authority contends the impact of any rate adjustment will be carefully evaluated to ensure it is fair and justifiable. The Port Authority further declared that the Electricity Act, which purported to give the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority the legal right to license and oversee energy providers nationwide, including Grand Bahama's port area, is inconsistent and conflict with the rights and privileges vested in the Grand Bahama Port Authority under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. Well, we can also tell you tonight the relationship between the Bahamas Power and Light Company and its unions are said to be stable. BPL's Chief Operating Officer Tony Seymour telling the media at Thursday's Office of the Prime Minister press briefing that executives have met with both the line staff and management unions and are seemingly making headway. And this despite an outcry from unions that they are not pleased with how they're being treated. To that, Seymour says those matters are in the hands of the government.
I would say presently industrial relations between the executives and the unions are stable. We meet with both unions regularly. As it relates to the reform and the integration of Pike, those discussions are being held at a governmental level. And Minister Colby Davis, I think, issued a press release recently as to how that framework will look. So unions are also meeting with her and Prime Minister Davis to iron out whatever those particular industrial relation matters are at this time.
Well, if you were to stand by what the United Nations has to say about it, land degradation reduces the value of the land's biophysical or biochemical environment. It can be caused by natural or human-induced processes and is considered any change or disturbance to the land that is undesirable. And it's for that very reason that regional environmental officials are here in the capital. They're meeting here in hopes of ultimately combating land desertification and drought. Desmond Saunders has the story.
A recent report from the United Nations shows that 30% of degraded lands exist within the Caribbean, precipitated by the rising effects of climate change and urbanization. Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis applauding regional heads for their efforts in tackling this crucial issue at this time.
Increasingly, however, the changing climate coupled with non-sustainable and destructive human activity threaten to further degrade our lands at a great economic, social, and environmental cost. It is more crucial than ever that we ramp up our efforts to promote sustainable land management at home and abroad. The needs of our people may be dynamic and complex, but sustainability is a simple and lasting truth.
As the world experiences a planetary crisis, Prime Minister Davis says addressing climate change, protecting biodiversity, and nurturing ecological restoration of land has become an urgent priority.
The biggest threat to security of the world, in my view, is environmental destruction. These threats, of course, move the Commonwealth of Nations, of which we are part, to craft something was called the Living Lands Charter, to which I draw each of your attention to. This charter takes a system-wide approach toward implementing about 5 thematic actions. One is climate resilient agriculture for food, security, soil and water conservation, sustainable green cover and biodiversity, carbon neutral and climate resilient livestock rearing and animal husbandry, and more importantly, indigenous and local people for climate resilient development.
And as land degradation is impacting the Caribbean at an alarming speed, Mr. Davis underscored the need for urgent action. He told delegates that land management is vital to our collective health and the quality of life.
Proper land preservation also goes hand in hand with combating the rising incidence of drought and desertification in our region. Water scarcity is a pressing concern for the Caribbean, with most, if not all, of our island nations experiencing some form of water stress in the last 5 years. Meanwhile, 3/4 of the Caribbean's population resides in urban areas, and that number only stands to rise. Urbanization is our reality, my friends, and it will continue to place a strain on water access.
This two-day meeting of regional leaders, a prelude to COP16 in December this year. Delegates will join other countries in Saudi Arabia to harmonize policies and unify their voices in addressing land conservation issues. The Prime Minister employed delegates to move the needle on this issue and act now to enjoy the benefits of a healthy and secure climate. Desmond Saunders, The Bahamas Tonight.
In other news this evening, the National Security Minister is shedding some light on the role UK officers will play in the investigation into corruption claims against Chief Superintendent Michael Johnson. Johnson placed on garden leave pending the outcome.
They are coming here to assist the Royal Bahamas Police Force Security and Intelligence Branch who are doing the investigation. They will work with them. They would have asked for their assistance. I don't become involved in operational matters. There's somebody coming from anti-corruption from the National Crime Agency of the UK. They would they would take a view of how the investigation was set up, the information that has been gleaned to date. I suppose that they will give them any assistance in terms of suggestions they may have. I don't know if we require any technical assistance from them.
Minister Monroe assures transparency should be paramount.
An investigation by security and intelligence branch will necessarily be fair and thorough. The purpose of having foreign, as they say, oversight is just for assurance of the Bahamian public, of everyone, that this isn't something that hasn't had a second eye turned to it. So I don't expect them to be on the ground walking around. I expect them to review what is done, see if there's any suggestions they may have, because two heads are better than one. But the Royal Bahamas Police Force, SIB, will be dealing with it. And these professionals from outside law enforcement, for want of a better word, will be auditing what they have done.
Still to come, optimistic job seekers turn out for Sandals job fair in Exuma. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
For the past 51 years, the Bahamas has been a nation marching for progress. We are more than sunny skies and blue seas. We are a nation filled with purpose, opportunity, and innovation. With each generation, our spirit grows stronger, our dreams brighter, with our banners waving high. Join us as we continue to pass the torch, fostering freedom, progress, opportunity, and innovation for years to come. Happy Independence, Bahamas, from Commonwealth Bank.
Everybody on fried chicken, we are pre-bucket for the crow. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Crispy original when we're online. Bucket together and do the new dance craze. Taste the explosion bursting with flavor.
KFC Summer Bucket Deals. 8 pieces of fried chicken and 4 biscuits for $20. Add family fries, a 2-liter switcher, and 4 pineapple biscuits to your mega summer bucket for $30. It's finger licking good.
Bank of the Bahamas understands that excellence in banking is not just a goal, but an unending journey. In just a few years, we have doubled the number of ATMs in our network. We've renovated facilities in Freeport and introduced new state-of-the-art premises in Nassau. Updated our website, making it easier for clients to stay in touch. And with our new mobile app, you can bank on the go 24/7. We've upgraded our cards to secure chip and contactless technology and introduced a chip and contactless debit card. And there's more to come, because excellence isn't about reaching a pinnacle. It's about cultivating a business that puts you at the center. BOB, your bank of solutions.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
A number of companies representing a wide range of career opportunities enticed Exuma residents at Sandals Emerald Bay Resort in Exuma yesterday, as the property prepares to temporarily close its doors next week for massive renovations ahead of its rebranding as the new Beaches Resort. General Manager Jeremy Mutton has sought to make this transition period as smooth as possible for employees.
We've been doing resume building, interview skills. We had the police come yesterday to do police records for the team. So we've tried to facilitate it and make it as easy as possible. Food handlers class for anyone who going into food and beverage. So today's job fair was really the culmination of a lot of days where we've kind of been preparing our team. I'd love to keep all of my team. I'd love to keep them all within the Sandals family. We are keeping who we can. So some have the opportunity of going to Sandals Royal Bahamian in Nassau. Some have the opportunity of going to our sister resort, Beaches, Turks and Caicos. I will also be keeping some here on resort during the closure. Our marina remains open. The golf course, I still want to maintain that. So, you know, I've kept who I can. And like I said, it was great to see the support from the employers.
Martin acknowledges the transformation has been in the works for many years, and while this period is bittersweet, he's excited about the road ahead.
What has happened really with the company, we've increased our Sandals brand over the last few years. We have new Sandals resorts in Jamaica, in Curacao, in St. Vincent. We haven't expanded the Beaches brand, and we now feel that Exuma is ready for that first Beaches brand. It's going to be very exciting. A lot of things that our guests have grown to love here. The Greg Norman Golf Course will remain, 12 different restaurant options, but of course we'll be gearing it up towards the families. So, as you say, bittersweet.
Well, the Member of Parliament for Exuma is convinced Exuma is still primed for prosperity. He too hosted a job fair today, and as Corval Pyfrom reports, the DPM has a strong message for anyone betting against Exuma's growth.
PM Cooper wrapping up the week just like he started it by stressing that while the closure of the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort on the island is a setback, Exuma's economy is strong enough to not only withstand it but thrive. Less formally dressed today, but nonetheless still serious and even more forceful.
We are going to have a fantastically new resort that's going to hire 850 instead of 450. We're going to improve the overall product, look and feel of the major resort on the island. Where it's going to be now family all-inclusive instead of couples. So a family of 2 used to come to Sandals. Now a family of 5 or 6 is coming to Beaches. If that's a political belly blow, I'll take that. I'll take more of those.
On the issue of Sandals' decision to close its Exuma property being linked to recent revelations that the company reportedly owes an exorbitant tax bill, Mr. Cooper avoided speculation.
This isn't a contentious matter as far as we're concerned. We have a great dialogue with the owners of Sandals. They are committed to resolving the matter. And at the end of the day, more conversations need to happen, more dialogue into what is a fairly complex matter. And I think at the end of the day, calm heads will prevail and a solution will be found. And we will work with Sandals, our partner, to ensure that they are not adversely harmed by the matter.
On Exuma Friday, the Deputy Prime Minister and Exuma MP spearheading what he prefers to call a Jobs and Opportunities Bank, which attracted more than 200 people and a wide range of companies. Mr. Cooper believes the economic forecast for Exuma calls for brighter days ahead.
I'm extremely confident after what I saw today that everyone who is being displaced will find work here in Exuma or on their home island.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Corval Pyfrom.
And as tourism officials boast the Bahamas could hit 12 million tourist arrivals this year, the question is, are taxi drivers benefiting from those numbers? From January to April, the Bahamas saw the arrival of nearly 4 million visitors within the first 4 months. Taxi Union President Wesley Ferguson says his members have been holding their own, despite business being up at times, and at times down.
Taxi drivers are taking home a good pay for the work that they're doing. See, because, with them not having to pay, majority of them not having to pay leasing fees, they can now, that is a saving that is now that they can direct that in other avenues of their life, in fact. So they're doing well. We're getting better and better. And the union is putting in more and more measures to keep taxi drivers in the forefront of this tourist industry.
Now, as for challenges facing the industry, Ferguson says the biggest one has been addressed, that being leased taxi plates. While some are still leasing, he believes the government will address that issue.
That being said, taxi drivers have little to no issues at all. There are some issues, the regular issues that linger around the taxi holding areas. So you have, the stakeholders. Some stakeholders are very, basically not taxi friendly, and that is something we have to rectify between the stakeholders and taxi drivers. But when it comes to their finances, I think they're doing pretty well.
Well, hailed as men of excellence, the Department of Immigration Squad A, the latest group to pass out and be added to its complement. The officers, the first line of defense at the various ports of entry throughout the country. Our Janita Swain tells us more.
The Immigration Department has not had an all-male squad passing out since 1974. That, however, changed Thursday. 31 men donned crisp, dark green uniforms and marched across the rear compound of the Police Training College as hundreds looked on. Bringing the keynote address, Immigration Minister the Honorable Alfred Sayers reminded the group of the public powers they now hold.
You will have the power at our 31 ports of entry to determine who enters the territory of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It is called the power of admissibility. You will determine on behalf of the Bahamian people whether a visitor, a guest worker, even a diplomat can enter the territory of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
He continued with an overview of other key responsibilities they possess.
We'll also have the power with respect to any reasonable suspicion. You will be able to enter without a search warrant a ship or an aircraft landing in the Bahamas. You will be able to stop someone on the street or in a public space if you have a reasonable suspicion that that person was not properly landed.
Another key focus, their involvement in work permits, permits to reside, spousal permits, permanent residency, and citizenships. The Proud Squad conducted drills to the applause of jubilant relatives and well-wishers. The Instructors Award given for teamwork and consistency went to Kashad Cartwright. The Directors Award went to McAllister Smith. He attained the highest academic average. Walking away with the baton of excellence, 27-year-old Joshua Ferguson.
I'm actually grateful to the experience, all the hard work. Nothing really comes from anything that's not worth sacrificing. So, the fact that I had to work so hard, and all of us, or me and my squad mates had to work so hard, means that it was something that was truly worth it.
Minister Sayers reminded the squad of their responsibility to be fair and honest, adding that ultimately the country's national security depends on their integrity. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Janita Swain.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. New developments tonight in the Valley Boys Junkanoo saga as ZNES has been made to understand the governing bodies of Junkanoo are set to meet with the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, in the coming weeks to make a decision on which faction of the group will take to bay in the upcoming Junkanoo parades. The group seemingly split earlier this year, creating the world-famous Valley Boys led by Brian Adderley and the Valley Boys, the Way Forward, led by Trevor Davis. Most recently, both factions participated in the Independence Love and Unity Rush, prompting concern from the Junkanoo community and the general public. Since then, the Valley Boys title sponsor told media they are hopeful the group can unite, with hopes of granting sponsorship to one group ahead of the parade season. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. We have more from our Charles Fisher, who has a preview of what's coming up in sports. Charles?
Coming up in sports, it comes down to just one race for the Bahamas to secure its only medal at this year's Olympic Games in Paris, France.
If you see news in the making, call ZNS News at 502-3800 or email us at znsnews@gmail.com.
It's getting hot in Marco's, and we're bringing the heat straight to your doorstep. We're giving you a fiery food experience like never before. For a limited time only, try our new sizzling fiery flavors featuring Reaper cheese on our fiery pozzolis, pizzas, cheesy bread, and pizza bowls. Can you handle it? Taste the heat and order one now at marcospizzabahamas.com.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you is?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need your 25 cents no more.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long, yet the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Two armed robbers, ages 20 and 21 years old, are in police custody tonight after being apprehended during a routine stop and search on Cowpen Road, west of Faith Avenue. The two men were the occupants of a silver Mitsubishi Mirage that officers discovered had been stolen in an armed robbery. Well, traffic police, meantime, stepping up efforts to reduce the number of fatalities on the streets, and this with 40 fatal crashes on the books so far this year. The most recent taking place on Cat Island, the Berry Islands, and North Eleuthera. Chief Superintendent Eugene Strawn says a number of factors are usually in play when a deadly accident occurs.
Our research has shown that there's a lot of individuals not adhering to the speed regulations, and that, in a layman's term, speeding, and then secondly, inattention. And that inattention range from perhaps using cellular phones, being distracted by passengers, and then we have several instances where the individuals actually perhaps fell asleep while driving the vehicles. What we are beginning to appreciate that a lot of our incidents are either individuals who are driving those little small Japanese vehicles, and for the most part, those vehicles, they are not equipped for serious crash absorption. So you'll find that if it is not designed for crash absorption, most of the energy or the impact will go into the individuals who are in the cabin of those vehicles.
The senior police officer reminds motorists to slow down and obey the rules of the road.
Many times we talk about speeding and adhering to the speed limit regulation. 45 miles is the fastest speed that we could travel on any one of our major corridors. The reason why we are asking you to adhere is because of that this braking distance. If you're making 45 miles per hour and you have to make a quick stop, the reality of you not causing a crash that is close to you, the end result will be very serious injuries and what we are now recording fatal accidents.
Well, on a lighter note, good news for parents with weeks to go before the start of a new school year. The much-anticipated back-to-school value-added tax holiday begins August 18th through September 14th, giving parents an opportunity to purchase school supplies at lower prices. Now, spearheaded by the Department of Inland Revenue, Communications Head John Williams explains its value.
And the benefit is more so for the consumer rather than the business themselves. For persons during these trying times who are unable to afford to travel for supplies or order supplies, or just have the basics to afford these things before any tax, the government has seen fit multiple years to remove the VAT tax for that specific period.
Inland Revenue officials launch value-added tax initiatives to help consumers throughout the year.
The decision to have a tax holiday resides with the ministry and cabinet, and once that is decided, then we carry out the enforcement of that holiday. The only other thing that the department is doing similar to a holiday would be our VAT stamp amnesty program. That came into play as of May 29th, where all conveyances will be stamped at the value at the time of the transaction, but will be charged late fees if submitted late. And that is valid until November 30th of this year.
Well, back-to-school shopping doesn't necessarily have to be a task. Janae's Uniform Store is setting a new standard with its early bird shopping. Parents are encouraged to take advantage of quieter Sunday shopping hours to avoid the end of summer rush.
Yes, we open from 9 to 4, and that is the time when we're cleaning up, because we accommodate to the wider population, and so therefore during this time we would have our students from the various government schools, including some private schools, assist us. But even that, it's not enough. And so therefore on Sunday we come to clean up and put things back in its place. And so come on Sunday, one lady said Sunday past, she said, I could have skated in here.
The initiative alleviates the stress and congestion typically associated with uniform shopping during peak times. There's also the VAT-free period.
Well, the government has helped us in previous years, giving the parents a VAT-free period for back-to-school items. And for the best of my knowledge, all I know is everything related to back-to-school is VAT-free. So you have some parents that wait for that time because they can maximize their spending.
You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. There's more news in a moment.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant back again with another episode on the do's and don'ts at a service station. Let's go. What you ain't gonna do is just pull up to any dispenser and put the nozzle inside your car without reading the signs. Because if you put the wrong fuel inside your car and the car mess up, you could be mad at us, all right? And then you have to walk or catch bus for about 3 to 18 months. What you're supposed to do is read the signs. We place signs all over the dispenser to tell you which fuel is which. Because you put the wrong one in your car, say bop, and you could be mad at us. You could be, oh, what happened to my car? No, it's you who ain't read. It say diesel, diesel, one word, diesel. You got up, and you mad at us. Read, that's all you have to do.
Hey, Mom, can you look after Kaylee?
Sorry, I'll be out for a while doing my home and car insurance.
What? You know there's a newer way, right?
A new way?
Where have you been? Look, go to newerinsurance.com, log in, get your quote, buy your insurance, done. You can even use it to manage a claim.
Oh? By the way, it's not newer. It's N-U-A. Where's she been?
Do it anyway with NUA Insurance Agents and Brokers.
8 months into the year, and the great savings continue at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Rainbow corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.15. Country Barn mayonnaise, 30 ounce, $3.69. Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs, 15 ounce, $1.69. Boneless chicken breast, $3.39 per pound. Panama raw shrimp, $31.40, 1 pound, $6.99. August is an awesome month to save at Super Value and Quality supermarkets.
We here at Candid Security offer a varied range of security services, including guard service. We do armored service, we do pre-employment investigation, background checks, also vet people for employment. A live business hosted PBX is extremely important to our operation. I don't have to be in my office. I can easily get connected with our clients, my vendors, my NASA office, and with our employees in the field, anytime, anywhere.
Infrastructure development, revitalization and housing solutions, boating industry growth and opportunities, banking, climate and natural disaster, resilience and utilities management, some of the topics to be addressed at the Abaco Business Outlook set for September 19th at the Great Abaco Beach Resort. This year's theme, Future Abaco, branding the national identity, planning for success, is expected to be an insightful gathering for those who reside in or have a vested interest in Abaco and the surrounding keys. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, is the keynote speaker. Organized by the TCL Group, its president, Joan Albury, touted how these business forums recognize all island communities as one Bahamas and show how investors of goodwill, both local and foreign, are essential to our country's quality advancement. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makisha. Well, today began with some morning rains and ended up with cloudy conditions. Also, we're monitoring an area in the Far Eastern Atlantic that can impact our weather next week, Thursday through Saturday, so we'll stay tuned to that. But right now, we are under mostly cloudy skies, temperature at 82 degrees, the relative humidity 76%, northerly winds at 3 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,017.7 millibars, that's 30.05 inches. And your temperatures around the islands, 81 in Marsh, Abaco, Green Tool Key at 82, also in Freeport, Grand Bahama, and the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini, 84 degrees. 84 is again in Harbor Island. Rock Sound, Eleuthera, 82. Fresh Creek in Central Andros at 85. 85s in Kemp Space on Andros and Black Point, Exuma. Allenstown, Cat Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key reporting 84s. More 84s in Clarence Sound, Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Maguana, 86. Acklands, 88. Matchitown in Agua, 85, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 85 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by a live business where you're always protected during the worst storms. In the northwest and central islands, tonight through Saturday, southerly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Your high tide will take place at 11:57 tonight with a low tide at 6:15 tomorrow morning. For the southeast Bahamas tonight into Saturday, easterly winds 12 to 18 knots, wave heights 3 to 6 feet with caution flags in place. And on Sunday, in the northwest and central islands, we will see a reduction in those winds becoming southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. The low tide on Sunday will occur at 6:53 in the morning, with the high tide at 1:15 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas on Sunday, southeast winds once again at 12 to 18 knots, maintaining that caution flag. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they're brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
Give them peace and love and everything will be all right.
Going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned. Extended weather forecast is still ahead.
In case you missed the news or want to stay ahead, follow us at ZNS Digital on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit us on our website at znsbahamas.com.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales at CBS Bahamas and the CBS Pro Store. Not only do we guarantee the best prices on all your favorite building materials, we're proud to offer the best delivery program in all of Nassau. Whether you buy one box of screws or a truckload of plywood, island-wide delivery is just $5. And for our Family Island customers, we're proud to offer complimentary drop-off to the mailboat of your choice. Visit us today at the CBS Pro Store on Robinson Road and check out our website to set up your next delivery.
Island Nation, it is important that we protect our children in the water. Pay close attention to children and stay within 1 arm's length of them. Have them wear brightly colored swimsuits. Use flotation devices and teach them life-saving swimming skills. Be sure to empty portable pools and buckets, turning them upside down after each use.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health and Wellness and PAHO WHO.
Greatest gymnast is saying, I'm not myself, this doesn't feel right.
People like to put us on a pedestal when all I wanted was to be normal, to be human, like everybody else. I still have to dig deep down and remember why I'm doing it, and do it for the little girl.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, Freeport Grand Bahama, praying for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we are telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was scared or coming and crying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the Eye of the Newsroom.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good Friday, everybody, and welcome to Sports. I'm Charles Fisher. The Olympic Games winding down in Paris, France for our team, and just one more event to go. Will the Bahamas make it to the medal podium? Let's check in first with Marcellus Hall.
This Olympic Sports Update is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Comfort Suites Paradise Island, the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, Powerade, Bonaventure Medical Labs, Original Potties, and Gatorade.
Well, it was D-Day for our 100-meter hurdlers. Both Devin Charlton and Charisma Taylor taking to the track this morning, looking to make their way into the grand finale of that event. Of course, Devin Charlton would run first. Let's take a quick look at her performance and see how she did. Devin Charlton on the track, first heat of the semifinal rounds of the women's 100-meter hurdles. Charlton trying to make it into the finals for the second consecutive Olympic Games, and she would get off to a blazing start as she normally does.
running extremely well here, but finishing second, 12.50 seconds. That does advance her as an automatic qualifier. Afterwards, she talked about the race.
I thought I got the start that I needed. Felt some pressure towards the middle of the race. All I was thinking was just hold my composure and take it through the line.
As for her chances in the final, Charlton feels pretty good there. She thinks that she has a great chance to get onto the podium.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. Feeling like my chances a whole lot, I think. When it comes to the finals, it's just going to take a good race execution. I think my best race execution beats everybody else's.
Next up would be Charisma Taylor. She ran in Heat 2, looking to join Charlton in the finals. Taylor, a personal best time, 12.63 seconds, third in her heat. She would try to advance as a non-automatic qualifier, but her time simply not good enough. She does not advance. Her Olympics are over, but Taylor still felt good about her performance overall.
I felt great. I had a really good start, and I was going well for the first, I think probably a little bit more than the first half. And I got too close to the hurdles, and I kind of fumbled, so I'm very, very, very happy with how I did. I know there's more in the tank. Just can't wait to talk to my coach and try to perfect it. Just want to thank God and just thank all of my support system. My whole family's out here. Thank you for everyone who's sponsored me to get here. Paul, Sun Oil, Craven, Sonic Express, and everyone who was helping in a little way. Y'all mean the world to me, and I can't be thankful enough.
Now, Taylor says moving forward, she knows what she has to do and is confident she can only get better as time goes on.
Just knowing that I did a personal best with some errors, so I just know that there's way more in the tank, and I just can't wait for my next meet. Hopefully I have another meet to go. We'll wait and see, but I'm very happy.
So now it's down to one athlete remaining here at these Olympic Games. We'll look to see whether or not Devin Charlton can get through on Saturday onto the podium. She's going to have a tough task ahead of her, but certainly we know she's definitely up to the task. Reporting here from Paris, France, for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Marcel Assault.
This Olympic Sports Update is brought to you by J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, Comfort Suites Paradise Island, the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, Powerade, Bonaventure Medical Labs, Original Parties, and Gatorade.
Thanks a lot, Marcellus. Big game last night over at the Bahama Resort. Rhode Island Rams in town taking on Raw Talent Elite. Courtside was our intern, Swanson Gibson.
It was a tight contest throughout as the University of Rhode Island took on Raw Talent Elite. Both teams showing maximum effort on both sides of the ball, with Rhode Island leading at the half. Raw Talent would not go away easily, though, as Garvin Clark Jr. drains a tough jumper to keep them in the game. Rhode Island getting after it in transition, but Nathaniel Bastian says, "No, sir, not in my house." Jaden House recovers the ball and throws it down with authority. House again with the rock, nailing a three, keeping Raw Talent away. Jamarquez Lawrence nails a corner pocket dagger, expanding Rhode Island's lead. Again in transition, Rhode Island putting the icing on the cake and winning 89-81. Javonte Brown, Ferguson, and Jerron Burrow shared their perspective.
The point of the attack was just playing hard, man, just trying to attack the boards, try to play physical. Man, just play defense and play physical. That's the point of attack right there.
How was it competing in these series of games throughout the past few weeks?
Man, it's a blessing, man. We really needed this. The first game was a blowout, and the next two were close games. We needed this so we could grow as a team.
I'm really happy with how my guys came out and played. You know, these are $1 million college programs with $1 million coaches, and now $1 million in NIL. I got 13-year-olds, 2 16-year-olds on the court with a bunch of guys we just put together, and to compete just shows the level of heart and soul and fighting spirit that it takes to compete in this level.
Spectating courtside was NBA veteran and Bahamas national team guard Eric Gordon. He had this to say.
Well, I'm glad the Bahamian, national team came close. A lot of the young guys on that played today, and it's good competition to play against a team like Rhode Island, where they're very structured, got good coaching with good upcoming players, and it's good for both sides.
A good showing by our boys in one of the more competitive games this summer. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
61st Black Point Regatta all done with, and that saw H2O dominate all the races. Just 6 sloops took part, and according to acting Commodore Ezra Kemp, there was a reason why.
Bad weather was predicting, and most of the boat didn't get to come. We also have 3 Black Point boats that is under repair. But so far, for this 61st Annual Regatta, I can boast on it that it went off well.
It wasn't no fair sailing because H2O dominated, man.
That's the record breaking what I'm talking about now. The oldest gentleman in Black Point won 4 straight races. He took 3 series race and the ocean race. And not only took them, Fisher, he beat them in style. He beat them more than 3-4 boat lengths.
So how do you work on now for 62?
62, and the 62, we're looking where we can get around and do more fundraising because we're expecting more boats. We're looking at least 10 to 12. So we're going to come to Nassau, do some fundraising, and make sure the 62nd be better than this one.
And that's going to be it for your Friday sports. Hope you enjoy the weekend. But before we go, the weather follows this break.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Trying your luck doesn't always result in a win. In fact, it's easy to lose track of your spending when gambling regularly. Here are some ways you can gamble responsibly. Utilize financial planners to track your finances. These can be done digitally or on paper. Set a realistic budget and stick to it. And finally, monitor your winnings and losses weekly and monthly.
This message is brought to you by the Gaming Board for the Bahamas.
At Original Patties, quality is always job number 1. With 2 convenient locations, you have twice the opportunity to enjoy our beef, chicken and veggie patties, escovitch fish, chicken and mutton roti, and our succulent jerk chicken and pork. Choose from a wide selection of tasty pastries, cakes, and breads, or pull up to our 2 convenient drive-through windows for great service with a smile. Original Patties Bakery Limited, Tonic Williams Darling Highway and Blue Hill Road South.
Are you looking for a reliable and professional medical laboratory in the Bahamas? Your search stops here at Bonaventure Medical Laboratory with 27 years of dedicated service in lab and EKG services. Our board-certified staff of medical technologists and phlebotomists ensure accuracy and proficiency in every result. With state-of-the-art equipment, we guarantee quick turnaround times and electronic delivery of results. Take advantage of our special pricing on back-to-school lab tests, group discounts, and on-the-spot drug screens. Get HIV results in just 1 hour. Check your hormone levels and even explore paternity testing options. With 7 convenient locations across the Bahamas, including Centerville, Sandyport, and more, we're always close by. Contact us today at info@bonaventurelab.com or call 328-3518. Bonaventure Medical Laboratory, your lab partner for good health.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
During the calm before the storm.
Life-threatening storm surge and winds in the northwestern Bahamas.
2019, report Grand Bahama. We prayed for the best.
And in the wake of the devastation. We've hosted countless shows. We've interviewed numerous individuals. We've covered every angle and shared everyone's stories.
The whole roof came off.
Now, 5 years after Hurricane Dorian, we are telling our story.
We need to move now. Let's go now.
You can see we make it out of the hurricane.
I wasn't imagining this.
I was scared. I didn't know if I was scared or coming crying.
This was a storm like no other.
Join us for a Hurricane Dorian special as we take you into the eye of the newsroom. See what we endured behind the scenes during our relentless 72-hour live coverage from before and after the deadliest storm in our nation's history.
Outside is actually flooded.
This is more than a documentary. It's our journey, a testament to our dedication and our commitment to you. Airing September 1st on the only station that kept you informed during the worst storm in the history of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is the eye of the newsroom.
Your one-stop shop for all things news and entertainment.
Bringing you exclusive content from unique talents you can't find anywhere else.
Keeping you updated with the top stories from across the nation.
And entertained with a variety of engaging content.
All in one place.
With one click.
You mean I can get all this in the palm of my hand?
Yes.
On all my favorite devices?
Yes. And with unlimited access to all types of different content.
You won't need to look anywhere else.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital.
That's ZNS Digital. ZNS Digital, the people station in your pocket.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, an area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms several hundred miles to the west-southwest of the Cape Verde Islands is being monitored for development over the next several days. Our computer models are also suggesting that as it approaches the Lesser Antilles, it could become a bit better organized, and certainly by the time it reaches into the warm waters of the southeast Bahamas on Thursday of next week, we can perhaps see a tropical depression developing, and that will continue to move into the central Bahamas on Friday morning, perhaps becoming a tropical storm as it heads into the northwest Bahamas on Friday night through Saturday morning. So we'll keep our eyes on the system very, very closely. Satellite pictures also showing we still have some residual showers lurking around the northwest Bahamas as a result of a mid to upper level low, which is lifting towards the north, meaning we will see some improvement by tomorrow. Our forecast for tonight, partly cloudy and warm with a low temperature of 81 degrees. And tomorrow it's going to be partly sunny and very hot, 91 degrees for your high temperature. The extended weather forecast, pretty nice day on Saturday. Sunday we could have a morning shower, even possibly an isolated thunderstorm. And as we head into the early part of next week, lots of sunshine right into Thursday. But come Friday, as that system we've been talking about gets a little closer, we'll start to see some showers moving into the area on Friday night. Makishla.
And Basil, before we end, we want to give you a preview of tonight's Goombay Summer Festival that's set to attract residents and visitors to everything authentically Bahamian. Jiminita Swain joins us live from Bay Street. Good evening, Jiminita.
Well, Makashla, Goombay in its second week here in the city center. And let me tell you, a lot of activity happening downtown. People grabbing something to eat, something to drink, getting in the full swing of things. But to talk to us about what can be expected at tonight's activities is, of course, Nikki Reed Simmons. She is Tourism's General Manager for Culture and Authentic Events. Nikki, what can you tell us? What can we expect from the second week of Goombay?
A cultural explosion, Jiminita. First, I want to welcome you out here to Goombay. I know you're going to have a great time while you're here, but let me tell you, tonight everybody's going to have an opportunity to actually see a traditional Goombay rush out. I don't know if you've ever seen one. I haven't, but the Chipman family is going to do it. Actually, when you think about Goombay, you always think about the Chipman family as well. So they're going to be out here performing. We're going to have lots of entertainment. We have quite a few artists, Fan Sean, Blotty, King of Rake and Scrape. But, you know, everyone is out here now. They're enjoying the food. We have crab duff, coconut conch salad, you name it, it's out here today. There are artisans showing their jewelry and wood carving. It's just a great time. All of our visitors are coming in. A lot of the hotels have encouraged the visitors to come by, and so as you can see, they're coming out tonight.
Just an afternoon of fun. I see we've started really early, but we go until later tonight. Is it going to be really late or just before midnight?
At midnight. We end at midnight. It ends actually with a Junkanoo rush out, but from 6 to midnight, you can come out and have a great time.
Well, there you have it, Makashla. A lot happening here. downtown. So if you still want to make it out, it's pretty early, so you can come and have a great time up to midnight. For now, back to you in Studio Makashlo.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. And that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and good night.
The most fun group on Nation of today is. As long as you West Virginia drink free.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.